Welcome to today's deep dive, everyone. We are exploring this really fascinating concept called garden-based learning today. And we're looking at a case study of two boys, Kesser and Steen. You're going to love this because it proves why, using your own senses and context to figure out a crisis totally beats just asking an AI for a quick fix.
Yeah, it really is a great case. So the notes we're looking at follow these boys who are running a farm stand. They are growing potted blueberry cuttings, which, is a brilliant pivot away from their old pick-your-own berry model. Apparently, their city-dwelling customers couldn't handle themselves in the fields and kept getting, literal fructose shock.
Oh, wow. A very necessary pivot then.
Yeah.
But right, so their new initiative hits a major snag. The leaves on these potted blueberries suddenly start developing these distinct yellow stripes. And this is where that garden-based learning really kicks in.
Right, exactly. Because instead of just punching symptoms into a search bar, they rely on a short learning process. They use their prior knowledge, the context of their setup, and, their own sensory observation. They look super closely and notice something incredibly specific. The yellowing is happening between the green leaf veins, not on the veins themselves.
Wait, between the veins. Okay, so by pairing that visual data with a diagnostic tool, they figure out it isn't a magnesium deficiency, but an iron issue. But finding out it's an iron issue makes this a huge mystery, right? Because as the notes point out, there's actually plenty of iron already in that dirt.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of looking at the wider context. Steen had been watering these pots with city tap water, and if you live in an area with hard tap water, you might actually be doing exactly what Steen did without even realizing it. Hard water is high in calcium carbonate, giving it a pH of around 8.3, but blueberries are acid-loving, so they need a soil pH between 4.5 and 5.5.
Ah.
So it's like having a pantry completely stuffed with food, but the door is padlocked shut and you're just starving outside. Like the iron is in the soil, but the plant is entirely locked out.
That is exactly it. That high pH of 8.3 acts as the physical padlock. It chemically binds the iron into a solid state. So no matter how much iron is in that soil, the plant's roots physically cannot drink it up because it's just not water-soluble anymore.
Okay, so the immediate goal is unlocking that pantry by lowering the soil pH. And in the notes, Kesser brings up a solution that honestly sounds brilliant to me at first. He wants to use Epsom salts. But wait, I'm actually confused on this one. Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate. It has sulfate right in the name. So wouldn't the bacteria in the soil just eat that sulfate, spit out acid, and fix the pH?
It seems like a really logical, quick fix, but it completely fails. And it all comes down to oxidation states. Think of the sulfur in Epsom salt like a battery that is completely drained. It is already fully oxidized, at its absolute maximum state. The soil bacteria can't extract any more energy from it to create acid. They literally have nothing left to process. Oh, I get it. A chemical dead end. You can't squeeze juice from a dry lemon. So what actually gets the pH down then?
Well, the notes highlight two main options, and they work in totally different ways. The first is elemental sulfur. This is a biological process. You add it to the dirt, and soil bacteria slowly chew on it, eventually converting it to sulfuric acid. But the catch is that these bacteria are temperature sensitive. They only get to work when the soil is warmer than 13 degrees Celsius.
Right, so if it's like a chilly spring day, you're out of luck. The elemental sulfur just goes to sit there doing nothing.
Exactly. Which brings us to the second option, iron 2 sulfate. This bypasses biology entirely for a rapid chemical reaction. When iron 2 sulfate dissolves in water, it oxidizes from iron 2 to iron 3, and during that specific shift, it physically splits the water molecules in the soil, releasing free hydrogen ions. Since pH is simply a measurement of free hydrogen ions, the soil pH just plummets immediately.
That is wild. The iron sulfate literally hacks the water molecules to pop the padlock off the pantry door. It's an instant fix compared to waiting on temperature-sensitive bacteria. What all of this really means for you is that true garden-based learning isn't just about getting your hands dirty, it's blending sharp sensory observation with a basic grasp of the underlying science. So you can actively react to your environment.
Yeah, it is the difference between blindly applying a Band-Aid solution you found online and actually understanding the why behind the problem.
Exactly. And here's a final thought to leave you with. At the end of this case study, an AI actually apologizes to the boys for giving them incorrect chemical advice about this exact issue. It admits it just follows patterns without any real understanding of soil chemistry. So if the machines we rely on are just pattern matching without grasping physical reality, how much more vital is human, hands-on sensory learning going to become? Will knowing how to read the physical world with our own two eyes become the ultimate luxury